Was there an X-ray done? Or?
Yeah, there was. As we said, it tied itself into a knot once it got into the sort of free space of his bladder, and he couldn't pull it out himself. Apparently he tried, but
It tied itself in a knot inside his bladder.
Yeah. So this is actually, for the nerds out there, quick science moment. The theory of entropy states that if you have a set of headphone cord or anything and you wind it up nicely and you put it in your pocket, just by the act of moving around and electrons moving and the theory of the uncertainty principle of quantum mechanics, it will tie itself into a knot. If you give a piece of string or a cable enough room to move around and you jiggle it a bit, it will tie itself into a knot. So obviously, he's looked down, right? So he's got his trowel down.
He went trowel down?
Well, you'd have to.
Trowel down.
He's got trowel down. He's got 10 centimetres, and that for our international viewers is about, 4-5 inches?
God.
Of cable up the old fella. And he's gone, shit, what am I doing here? I might just yank that bad boy out. And obviously...
Has he drunk some sort of Jakarta water concoction before he's gone and done this?
He may have. He got the home brand quality ones. He just didn't fly. He kind of just crawled. He ended up rolling up to the children's hospital and they...
Oh, but he went to the children's hospital.
Well, he's only 13.
At the children's hospital, they are dealing with, this young child...
Bumps and scrapes, broken arms.
No, this young child has cancer. This young child has leukemia. Then some Chinese idiot comes in with a cable up his Johnson.
They first tried to get it out using some lube.
Okay.
Now, wouldn't have that been the most awkward teenage boner of your life?
No, I just want to know what apparatus they had to do to spread around the helmet to get in there to do it.
Oh, some of them medical things, dude, are just crazy. But anyway.
Yeah. Is this why we've got so many Chinese doctors in Australia? Is this why
they're just shaking their heads going, no, I can't do this anymore.
I can't. I'm going to Australia.
I'm done.
Bumps and scrapes I want to deal with. USB cables up the I can't deal with.
So, you're probably right, because this isn't the first time. We've got on the Burble supercomputer and we've done some research.
Hang on, let's get on there right now. We've got the sound. Oh, there we go. Okay. It's processing. All right, it's about to spit out. There we go. Spit it out. Right, go.
All right, so another Chinese man previously has inserted a 20-centimetre cord into his trouser snake.
Wow.
While in 2016.
Gee, what? That's...
Well, back then it would have only been USB 2, so it would have been really slow as well. But he watched a video online about it, apparently, about how it could be sexually pleasuring. But unfortunately, this is one of the men's problems I was talking about before. Ever since we worked out that we've got a knob, right? We play with it, don't we? Seriously. Every bloke out there, if you shake your head, you're a liar.
I can't deny. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie for our listeners on the Burble. I'm not going to lie.
Yep. So we have had a history of sticking things where they shouldn't go, blokes. Like internally and externally.
We had a meeting, by the way, listeners, about content.
Yeah.
And obviously Az hasn't listened.
No, I didn't read the memo.
It was a face-to-face.
Well, I tried to charge my phone, but all my USB cables were cut.
Loose talk, even looser opinions. The Burble.
Just during that little segue there, I got told by Az, please bring the tone up. Can you, Benny, please bring the tone up? You're the one that brought that content to it. Now it's my turn. Ready?
Absolutely.
Professional darts players Gary Anderson and Wesley Harms. Now, the darts in England is massive.
I love the darts.
Long tables of people in costumes sitting down, smashing down pints of ale, getting just written off in this hall, basically. Then you've got the plebs who are there just to watch. They're watching the people drink. They didn't get the premium tickets. And realistically, a game of darts, if you're not anywhere like 4 feet from the board, this game is utterly boring to you. It's basically a barroom game. But the English and Sky Channel have made this a massive thing to watch. People come dressed as bananas and darts. They come in costumes.
Yeah, it's great.
They just get, for a fact that they've just smashed 2 cartons before they've gotten in there, and they're just on the pitchers of beer. They're just smashing jugs. No need for cups. The pint. They're just in doing all that kind of stuff.
Straight under the tap.
Well, anyway, Gary Anderson and Wesley Harms have caused a bit of a stink by accusing each other of farting on stage.
Oh, thanks for bringing the tone up there, Benny. That's great.
Oh, sorry, mate. Yeah, I was going to use sound effects. But you desecrated this studio.
Look at that, on demand.
Could you? Are they 2-ply denim and wannabe? If I catch a whip of that,
It's not fresh. I'm going to give you the mail.
I'm going to turn the burble into. I'm going to turn the burble into a gardening show. Dead set. If that comes over here, I'll throw darts at you. Anyway, 2-time world champion Anderson blew away Harms 10-2 to book a quarterfinal spot at the Grand Slam of Darts in the UK. Now, in the post-match TV interview, like they would do, it was the NRL over here or the NFL or whatnot, Dutch thrower Harms claimed his Scottish rival was responsible for breaking wind on stage. It definitely came from the table side and it was eggs, rotten eggs. But not from me. So every time I walked past, there was a waft of rotten eggs. That's why I was thinking it was him. It definitely wasn't me. I thought he'd had a shit, and I went, that's dirty. It was bad. It was a stink. Then he started to play better, and I thought he must have needed to get some wind out. Hang on a minute. Now, that's a sound effect. If someone has done that, I need to see a doctor. Seemingly, he says it was me, but I would admit it. He let it rip the Dutch TV, saying, it'll take me 2 nights to lose this smell from my nose. So that smell has gone and camped in his nostrils.
It's like soaked in.
This is a problem. Now, listeners, we've had these, there's been numerous problems in sport. You've got umpteen amounts of sledging. Happens in the cricket.
Well, you've got racial slurs in the AFL.
Racial slurs in the AFL, that's exactly right. But you know what? To get darts into the news, I think they're very clever. They've actually, the promoters have gone, listen, we would like you to talk to the press about this fart, to get Fartgate in the press. So the pages of the paper are being turned over. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Now, what would you do if me and you were in a darts comp?
Right.
My diet all that week has just been nothing but sticks of salami, some Twiggy, lots of cabbage, and pork rinds, and beer, ton of beer, and then all of a sudden it's like, here we go. I need another triple 20 to win this match. Oh, throw
in a wall.
100 there. What would you're standing there with darts, and this is the time, you've been waiting 7 years to win.
Echelon.
I'm standing there looking at you, I've just dumped one. Something's like crops 40 kilometres away are dying because of this. What would you do? You're holding 3 darts in your hand.
Well, I think, honestly, Benny, I'd have to fight fire with fire.
Would you make it a fart hole? You're holding very sharp stabbing implements in your hand.
I was going to.
If I was you, I would throw the darts right at my head.
The easy way out would be to dart you, but then I could only get 120. See, because that'd be a valid dart. I can't just go throwing away me points willy nilly. So I reckon I'd calmly throw. And I'd walk up, I'd just cock a leg on you, and I'd drop a bad
Cock a leg?
I'd just walk up and fart on your head, bro.
I can't believe I would.
And then you know what I'd do? I'd scull a pint.
You reach down into the crowd.
I'd just scull a pint.
You've got to be kidding me. I would actually throw darts at his head. Like, if he's, like, you've been working that hard.
Imagine the pool, right? Imagine, you've got the 2 champions of pool doing it, and one crop dusts the other with, like, the Black Death kind of scent. Now, you've got a couple of options. There's only a couple of shots for you to win the game. But if you break the queue over his head, right, then you can't win the game. He wins. It's a psychological game, Benny.
You know what? I would love to, in the snooker, I'd love to see that, because you see in the snooker, they got the nice black pants, the
suit.
The polished shoes, they've got the shirt, and they've got the vest.
Yeah.
It's a very gentleman's game. And, like, you've got the attendants there with the white gloves and all that kind of thing. And, I like watching it on TV. I just don't think I could sit there and watch it live. But I'd love to see someone smack a cue over someone's head. Because the outfit doesn't really fit the actual
Unless you're in a Jason Statham movie.
So, oh yeah, I like pool. I've been winning. Then you come and you done this. See that cue there in your hand? I'm gonna bust that over your head. More than that, with the broken part on the thick bit, it's gonna go in your urethra. See, I seen you in the Chinese Championships. I saw the way that you charge your phone disgustingly, and I'm gonna make sure that you can't do that again. This PowerPoint is now officially closed.
Whack!
I'm Jason Statham. I used to be an Olympic diver. I
Really?
know that sounds a bit woofy. Yes, I was. Have you got a problem with that?
I can, because you ran out of pool cues there, Jason.
Well, I'm about to dive some balls right on your forehead.
I'll drop me guts on you, mate. I swear to God.
And I'll make sure I drop your guts on your face. I'll sharpen up this pool cue, cut you cesarean style, and I'll just flop them back on your face. And then I'll chalk up, win the tournament, and off. That's what Jason Statham would do.
In a suit.
Mate, you heard the drama that was building there in that. Jason Statham, that's true. He used to be a diver.
Wow.
You didn't know that?
No.
Oh, I used to get real dirty with myself if I f***ed up a dive. Like, seriously, like attendance and shit. Like, that. There's clinics in England where they've had to, like, take counsellors in because there's, like, wet towel marks on people's heads and stuff like that.
Oh, from flicking towels.
Yeah, flicking towels.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't deserve a 3.1. You Dutch bastard.
So, I guess it's like poker, though, isn't it, Benny? Like, the rules of poker say that if you cheat and get away with it, then happy days. Right?
No, I'm back in the old days in the Old West.
Well, you
used
get
to
shot.
You'd get a couple in the gullet.
Yeah, but that's only if you got caught. But, like, it's not like he physically attacked him. Yes, he emotionally and maybe olfactory. I don't think I pronounced that correctly.
You made a new word.
I did.
I made the words up in the episode 1.
But anyway, so, like, he's attacked his nostrils, but I don't think that's a crime. Like, if you drop your guts, I suppose it's the equivalent of going, can't bat, can't bowl. Can't bat, can't bowl.
Swing, bada, 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 swing.
This is The Burble with Benny and Az.
As now, listen, Antarctica. Not a lot of people are there in Antarctica. Roughly maybe, I want to say 200, but I reckon it's less than that. Maybe
I reckon.
about 100 or so.
Yeah, 150. Depends on what time of year and who's doing what.
And it's all different nations. Now, Australia has a huge chunk of Antarctica. And then there's different nations that go down there, and of course they're doing what they call experiments. So they want to know how old the ice is. Yep. They can carbon date cuts that they make.
Yeah, they drill down into the ice. And
all the penguins are there. Happy Feet was filmed there, and well, you know what I mean? All that kind of thing. I was mentioning at the top of the podcast that a very famous recording artist actually went to Antarctica because he likes to take trips, and that is Henry Rollins. So we were there as part of one of those Henry Rollins think tank
spoken word
tours, and he mentioned that he went to Antarctica and he saw that the ice was all red because they went and camped on the ice that night. This is a stupid adventure kind of thing, and it stank. All the redness was penguin shit. And they actually dug out little, troughs, 3-foot troughs, and put a tent over them so they'd be warm and all that kind of thing. Now, you would think that Antarctica as a continent, the mass it is, there would be no crime. Well,
very little crime.
Very, very, very little crime.
Apart from that shifty-looking penguin that we saw on the way in.
That's right. You may be an emperor, but I don't believe in your regime, prick. But there is a scientist working in a remote outpost in Antarctica who allegedly stabbed his colleague because he kept telling him how the books he was reading would end.
That guy shouldn't get charged. He should get a medal.
Now, these two would often spend hours reading during the 4 years that they worked together at their lonely location.
4 years?
4 years. They were down.
Bloody hell.
I know. Rage, because you know how it's all, like night for 6 months down there?
Yeah.
Like, Rage would have been going for
Well,
donkeys.
it's just you, that dude, and the penguins.
That's right. And Rage.
And cold.
And frozen meals. McCain would have made a fortune off these guys. Like, you just get them and throw them outside.
You reckon he stabbed him with a plastic knife that came with the McCain meal?
Don't know. According to reports, though, he's told Russian investigators that he saw red and attacked this other bloke with a kitchen knife when he once again